since the 31st of March every day at 2 p.m. Today, friends, is Akshay Tritiya, and my best wishes to all of you. And in these difficult times, I I want to make sure that you are safe and sound. The webinar today is on the subject, the soul of luxury. The term luxury has different connotations. For the guy who goes on a cycle, a taxi is luxury. For the guy who travels on a scooter, a Maruti is a luxury. And for a guy who travels in a BMW, his own personal jet is a luxury. A shifting term for different people. But at the end, I believe, जो दिल को खुशी और सुकून देता है, वही सही luxury है. In 1996, Piaget came up with an ad where they showed a man in a suit and just about nothing in the ad. And there was a slight hint of a watch which could be seen on his cuff. And beneath was a line it mentioned, you need not show off your Piaget, just feel it. Later, when Patek Philippe used to do their ads, they used to say, when you buy a Patek, you buy an heirloom to pass on to the next generation. Comparatively, we are still a value for money country. Hence, only those luxury goods that will be able to sell and satisfy the Indian's mindset on fair value will be the ones that will be able to sell in a better way in India. But there has been a change of mindset of buyers of luxury products in the past 20 years. As today, we have Bentleys and Rolls Royces being sold in India also. Luxury is not easy to define. Luxury is research, the chance to experience new ideas in design, in shape, in colors, in finish, in style, in exclusivity. Every element that is the brand's own unique identity is part of the luxury element. India's tryst with luxury has had a very special place in the history of luxury. Our princesses, Nawabs, and Nizams have lived a life that most of us can only dream of. Their king-size lifestyle, luxury-filled world has always mesmerized us and continues to be discussed even today, and also practiced by a few. Beyond the luxury and the commissions of the opulent and extravagant jewelry and cars, the Maharajas were also the patrons of the emerging European avant-garde and commissioned furniture, chandeliers, clocks, watches, personal accessories, and some of the world's topmost brands today are known of. Many such brands build their fundamentals from such humble beginnings and are most sought after today. In the old days, every jeweler was treated as an important part of the family, and the trust and relationship and respect earned by every jeweler was more important to him than the money he earned. Today's subject, the soul of luxury, and today's panel, we have an illustrious list of celebrities on the panel today. We have with us Farah Khan Ali, the founder and creative director of Farah Khan, the brand. Farah is a renowned jewelry designer and a gemologist from GIA. Farah is an artist of masterpieces she creates with a tale of thought, imagination, inspiration, and craftsmanship that is seen at her jewel theater, Farah Khan Fine Jewelry. The recipient of many awards, Farah's brand emerged amongst top-known brands. She also has a coffee table to accredit Farah Khan, a bejeweled life that makes rave reviews across the world. We also have Queenie Singh, former Miss India, a mathematics graduate, a style icon of Mumbai. As a model turned jewelry designer, her jewelry has adorned some of the world's most famous people. Her creations are style statements under the brand Jewels from Queenie, founded in 2003. Queenie is always working with a team on her new collections. She loves to work on bold contemporary designs, Art Deco inspired classic timeless pieces. Her daughter Tiara launched her men's collection jewelry collection in 2019, along with an eco-friendly collection for young millennial girls. We also have with us Biren Vaidya, the MD of the Rose Group. I have known him for almost 25, 30 years. He is a distinguished purveyor of jewelry and of high-end luxury watches. He is an entrepreneur, an innovator, a dreamer, and an expert at everything he does. His name is synonymous with creativity and artistry. Apart from his jewelry, Biren Bhai has also designed and crafted jewelry for Versace, Forever Mark, Frank Muller, and along with his creations at the Rose Boutique in Mumbai for so many other brands and institutions. We have with us also a fourth generation jeweler, Yash Agarwal, who is the creative director and the design head at Birdich and Ghanshyam Das in Jaipur. With an eye for accuracy, his deep knowledge for craft and passion for Indian culture and heritage is a reflection in the jewelry designs from the brand. A GIA graduate, Yash received his formal education in jewelry designing, manufacturing, and grading. Upholding deep-rooted family values, Yash has many awards to his credit and is known for seamlessly balancing Indian art forms with his modern approach by marrying traditional designs with innovative techniques. His relentless determination and profound designs have not only revitalized the brand's appearance in the luxury Indian bridal jewelry market, but has also contributed to the success of the brand. We have another expert, Mr. Manishi Sanwal, an MBA grad from IIM Ahmedabad. He's the co-founder and MD of VoiceBack Analytics that is focused on finding data analytics LED solutions to business problems. Manishi earlier was with the Louis Vuitton Group since 2002. He launched Tag Heuer watches in India, and he then moved to Shanghai to operate LVMH Tag Heuer's sales and marketing operations for China. In 2008, he again came back as GM for the LVMH and later as MD for duty-free shopping, DFS India, which is again a LVMH group company. He did this for multiple countries and continents. The panel is moderated by Anita Khatri, who is the founder and CEO of Anita Khatri Luxury Consultancy Services, AKLC, based in Mumbai. Anita helps create footprints for luxury brands in the Indian market. She has spent 23 years with the luxury division of Times Group and has been instrumental in helping over 50 international luxury brands to establish in India, from Audemars Piguet, Ulysse Nardin, Mumbai Duty Free, Burberry Fragrances, and so many more. तो चलो जानते हैं लग्जरी की अंतरात्मा क्या होती है. Over to you, Anita. I'm sorry for a very long introduction.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
First of
Thank you
all,
so much.
And congratulations to Ashok and his team, who has been relentlessly with the efforts putting this session and providing such a platform for the entire jewelry industry. And I just feel that jewelry industry, and it is indeed the fact that it's pride of India. And today is Akshaya Tritiya, so badhai ho, namaste, the jewelry industry. All I can tell you is that the luxury means many things, as Ashok has already mentioned certain examples. But I would like to read one definition or two definitions, which is by Coco Chanel. And to Coco Chanel, some people thought luxury is opposite of poverty, but she believed that it's opposite of vulgarity. She also felt that luxury should be comfortable. Givenchy said luxury is in fine details. I would say luxury is of being able to do what you wish to do when you wish to do. The capability of doing that is luxury. Like already Ashok said that cycle is looking at Maruti car is looking at a Merc car. I would say in COVID-19 time, servants have become luxury. That wasn't the case. I mean to say, we all HNIs and ultra HNIs have the servants, but even not having a servant today, having a servant is a luxury. So without going further, eventually, I feel it is all about karigari. It is about craftsmanship. It is about workmanship. And what best karigari you can find? I have traveled all over. I have seen the manufacturers from Piaget to Montblanc to Cartier to Ferragamo fragrances. But the karigari that we have in India, hats off to that. And that is witness to what Ashok said. The roots of luxury are from India. It belongs to that era. It continues from there. And the jewelry industry, the karigars who are making the jewelry possible, salute to them. And with that, my first question, which will be to anyone who wants to go forward, what according to you is luxury? And how would you define the word luxury? Who would like to begin?
Can I begin?
Yeah.
Anika, hi, Farah here, everyone.
Yes,
Hello, thank you for having me. So when we first discussed what is luxury, I actually decided to really do some research, because the term luxury is so multifaceted that there's so many definitions of luxury. So to just give it one definition is not going to work. So the way I look at it is luxury is a multifaceted concept. So it is luxury as know-how, luxury as an industry, luxury as business, luxury as culture, luxury as a customer, luxury is a dream factor, and what luxury is not. So like you said, what is a luxury for some is just ordinary for others. And the definition of luxury is very dependent on the context, the generations, and the nationalities. So in the jewelry industry, I would say luxury is defined by how priceless the experience is. And in jewelry, the sentiment is the biggest luxury jewelry purchase driver. But if we look at luxury as a know-how, I mean, it is like you said, it's the spirit of craftsmanship. It gives life to artifacts through culture, creativity, and innovation. It is about excellence, for the sake of excellence, and in any business process and product category. So among the first definitions of luxury, according to Comrade Kohlberg and McKinsey in 2001, the luxury goods industry was defined by a strong branding that relates to an exclusive lifestyle. Very important, okay? The second thing was superior quality and timelessness. And the third was premium pricing. And the fourth was stylish and extravagance in terms of design. So to say it like in a nutshell, I would say that a luxury brand is one that is both excellent and extraordinary in what one is offering, and one that offers a unique experience of an exclusive lifestyle to their customers in terms of superior quality products, in stylish designs that are extravagant aesthetically, not necessarily expensive. And I want to come to that later, because true luxury doesn't only mean expensive. It means being extravagant aesthetically, and it's timeless with premium pricing and packaging. I can go on a lot, but I'm going to give...
I would like to add a little bit in Farah's thing. In jewelry industry, and especially when it comes to India, I think handmade product is a very important part of the luxury. India is one of the only places where the handmade products are still being made and patronized. And with the kind of karigars going extinct, this is going to become a very rare thing to get the handmade products out. That's one of the things. Otherwise, as Ashok Bhai and Farah, everybody addressed, it's a very elaborate term for luxury. It cannot be defined into one word or one phrase. It is more the experience which person have while possessing that product up. It's more about possession than owning or having that product. Like I have the ability, what importance it gives me to have that product makes it more luxury to me.
Okay, so I have a little different take on it, because I personally put luxury not only in the jewelry category, but luxury is defined across many different categories. And for me, rather than defining luxury from a brand perspective or a product perspective, I personally find that everybody in the luxury space all make great designs, all make fantastic products, all give absolutely fabulous experiences. And so how do you define it? So the real defining factor here comes from the consumer's end. So for me, luxury, when you define luxury, it is more, everyone would say it used to be aspiration first, but so I define it a little differently. So for me, luxury is a personal aspiration for any product or experience that creates a feeling of possession, and also the fact that luxury, as Ashok Bhai mentioned, is a changing horizon. So this personal aspiration for product or experience has always been a changing horizon, because once you possess it, you always look for something else, even more aspirational for you. So from a consumer's perspective, where the consumer is extremely loyal to themselves, luxury is a personal aspiration. So for what I define luxury is very different from what somebody else would define luxury. So as rightly put, for a person in a Maruti car, the Mercedes is a luxury. For the person who's having a Mercedes, a jet plane is a luxury. So at all stages, luxury does exist. So luxury doesn't get defined by price point. Luxury, everyone makes great product. And as long as it creates an aspiration, it obviously it's a given that quality, design, experience, all this is a given for luxury. But this personal aspiration for the consumer is, in my opinion, the most defining factor. And so for the way you want to present your form of luxury, be it a fragrance, be it a piece of jewelry, be it a pair of shoes, it's most important for you to define who is the consumer that you are trying to create this personal aspiration for. That's it.
I'll develop what Birendra Bhai said, and going with a strictly business perspective. I mean, essentially, they say that any product or service which offers a price that exceeds its fundamental value is a luxury. So for someone who is looking for a meal at 10 rupees, if you have provided in a way that he goes in and pays 20 for it, you are selling luxury. Conversely, on the other hand, if you are selling a 20 lakh design which has, or a 20 lakh jewelry which has gold worth 19 lakh 80,000 in it, then it is not luxury. So the extent of how good as a luxury marketer you are is the difference, or the extra premium which you can command because of your design, because of your service, because of your stores, because of your relationship with the customer. Any of the attribute of the brand added together will give you the premium which a customer perceives as luxury.
Now, I will add to Manishi's thing that how do you differentiate? How do you, like, what is going to be a differentiate? There is a car and there is a luxury car. And what is the differentiate in it to add that extra value? I think it's a brand. It's the experience which that product provide, maybe in comfort, design, make, anything. And does it increases my social status? Does it, after possessing that piece of thing, it increases my social status, how I'm feeling? It's very important. It's an overall experience which comes to a category of luxury.
Queenie, you would like to add something on that before we go to
it's basically an indulgence of your senses. It comes from the Latin word luxus, which means indulgence of your senses. So it basically is extraordinary, something extraordinary away from the mainstream of ordinary. And like the others have, suggested that, or said that it's, about the feeling, the experience, the quality, the reliability, the trust factor, and also the ability to inculcate a sense of loyalty. So that is what I feel like. I really feel it's also the service, basically all in all, it's just the indulgence. of the feeling of being able to acquire something, you know, a heightened sense of success, heightened sense of, you know, status, basically.
So,
Just to add to Queenie, like, you know, Ralph Lauren, an American designer, said, I don't design clothes, I design dreams. So luxury is a dream factor. It's about connecting an emotional association with your customer. And you know, brands, when they sell products, they're expressing their way through their products. So on the whole, I would say that luxury definitely is not an object. It's not something that can be mass produced. It is not vulgar, like Anita said in the beginning, that Coco Chanel said. It is not expensive also, and I'm going to come back to this because I've repeated it twice. It is not something that's easy to make because it has a lot of effort in craftsmanship and design and everything that goes into it. It is not democratic because you need to have a signature. It's something out of the box. It's unique. And it's not a fad. It's something that is timeless and is classic. And it's something that you aspire to want because it's something you want. I mean, a Rolex watch is something you're looking at, you know, a Bentley, you know, all these things, you aspire to it. So that is what luxury is, you know, an aspiration, an emotional connection, an indulgence, like Queenie said. It's all of that, you know. Yes, Anita, sorry.
Correct, Farah. Thanks, Farah. Continuing with what everybody reported somehow about the price points. That brings us to the next question. As a consumer of luxury products, how do you actually qualify that the product is qualified to be called luxury? So in the jewelry world also, for example, the jewelry industry, the manufacturers, the brand custodians who are there, when is it only price as a factor that determines that it is a luxury or it can qualify to become luxury? So if somebody as a jeweler is selling a piece at 20 lakh rupee or a 10 lakh rupee, does that become a qualifying factor for them to call that, okay, I'm selling and I belong to luxury? That's my next question. What are the ingredients that a product has to have to qualify that he is belonging to the luxury category?
So again, like I was talking to you in the past question, it's all about what the consumer's thought process or aspiration, personal aspiration or personal thought process as to what luxury is. So I've been doing research since 2014 on the new generation coming in, because one of the things that we realized personally in our brand, as our brand grew in age, and we realized that our customers were getting close to 40 plus, and we need to build a legacy that would continue for the next generation. So that got me back onto the drawing board to do research. And I'm going to share some things which will probably answer this question, may not fully, because I think everyone should be given an opportunity to speak. So I might answer it partly, but I'll tell you the keynotes of what came out of my research in the last four and a half years that I did with the younger generation. One of the things that did work, that I noticed, is this generation has a very different thought process. In the 80s and the 90s, luxury was all about wearing the logo and people being able to notice us or building our social status. For them, luxury meant more about environment, sustainability. It also meant about simplicity. So if there was something, it was very personal, and it was a personal aspiration. That's why I keep using the word personal aspiration, that made them feel good. They really didn't care as to if someone noticed them wearing a logo of a brand or not. As long as that purchase or that ownership of the product or experience made them feel good. And it didn't matter if it was a very simple or an undertoned product or design, but the most important thing is it meant something to their values in the form of environment, sustainability, and also to the extent that there was some story or experience behind what they were buying. So it was all about being very, very personal. Another thing that in all this, we realized that that social status was taking a backseat, though there were two sides to the new generation, simplicity and also over the top. But with today's digital age, they were so well aware of things that for them, it did not matter whether the product was $500 or $50,000. Both meant luxury to them as long as it meant something to them aspirationally.
I would like to add into a couple of things into this. Like, only evaluating any product on the basis of price would be a very shallow mindset approach towards luxury. So on the contrary, like, in the very important, like any price given to a product is good for trade as a trading tool, but not to define it into the category of luxury. Whereas to make it luxury, we have to add a couple of things into it: is experience, the craftsmanship, the value it gives me from inside, like the possession value. Then what materials, how unique the material has been used in it, what is the finesse of the product. These are the couple of the added things which we add over the value of the product to make it above from a commodity to a luxury.
Can I say something? Adding to what you're saying, a luxury product is to me a piece of art, beauty, culture, design, innovation and technology, because you actually inspire from art, which could be mass media, films. It could be artists and various people. Beauty, culture, you derive from culture to tell your story, and then you put it into design, and you use innovation as far as technology and products in your even the way your jewelry works, your product works. It's not just about how it looks. So when you take a piece of art, beauty, culture, design, innovation, and technology, and you marry all of it and you tell your story, that's when it becomes a premium product, and that's when it becomes true luxury, because you're actually taking the effort of taking the effort to merge all of these together and tell your brand story to your customer, and that's why it becomes aspirational, because it's so relatable.
So if you just look around and globally, there are two dimensions which exist. There have been some comments on people requesting on Hindi, so I'll try to bring in a bit of Hindi in my reply. So usually, there is एक है history or heritage. अगर आप Western world में जाओ, जो normally France की तरफ से brands आ रही हैं, there is one is a very strong history and heritage angle, and the other one is a storytelling and uniqueness angle, which is जो आपकी American brands की तरफ से, जहाँ पे इतनी लंबी history नहीं है, इसलिए they tend to create a very very unique story or some kind of some kind of a peg for their uniqueness, so that they can interact with the customers. So generally speaking, in या तो बहुत पुराने हैं, बहुत strong हैं, they thrive on that. A very very perfect storyline. Brands like Hublot and all are not very old, but they have used materials, they have used technology to create a very very unique story, which they then try to sell.
I think like it's just mentioned about the story behind the brand. I think this when it starts off with a story driven by passion, people relate to it from an aspirational point of view, like what you're trying to project, why are you creating that aspiration in people, and then thereby going into the the quality, the uniqueness, the design, the experience, the service, the service where you come out of a luxury space and say, wow, I want to go back there again. That's the kind of the feeling, of feel, that I bought this, and not only have I bought it for it to stay with me as a piece that I can look at it as something that is in a way a status symbol, but even the whole experience of buying it is the high of it. The interaction, the quality of people you're meeting, the presentation of what you're being given or shown, and of course the trust You know, the trust is the biggest thing about brand and about luxury. That is why you want to spend that kind of money, you know, and is because you trust that that style, that design, that concept is what you're looking for, what you aspire to have. So it's not only the trust that you put your money in it, but you've also put your sensibility in it. You've also put your, you know, your whole, your approach, the way you look, your whole style, the whole concept of it, your mindset. So the trust is one of the biggest things.
No, but we were also speaking, Anita's question was, does luxury have to be expensive? And that's exactly what I was trying to say. Right now, we're just defining luxury. We're talking about why a product, which is a luxury product, doesn't have to be expensive? Because at the end of it, you have various ways of defining a luxury product, but a truly luxurious product is something that has taken a lot of time and effort to make. And why it commands that kind of premium and pricing is because of the time, the effort, the storytelling, and putting the entire history together of the product. It involves marketing, it involves packaging, it involves, you know, engaging with your customer in an interesting manner. It involves, you know, talking about so much more than just it being an expensive product as far as raw material. And that's the point I'm trying to say here. You know, a brand who thinks that the luxury is only going to be for a high net worth individual is really not going to be able to be a luxury brand, because there are three kinds of people. One is your high net worth individual, which is old money. One is your, you know, fashion, you know, hedonistic buyers, in the sense they just want to keep buying because they get pleasure with buying. And the third is the aspirational buyer. So you have to keep in mind all three of them when you're doing a luxury product. So it doesn't depend on how expensive the product is. It depends on how beautiful the product is. It could be very small. So if you go into a Louis Vuitton, somebody who cannot afford to buy maybe a bag of Louis Vuitton will come out buying a keychain or something, or a wallet, something that's small. So, but it's still luxury, and it's still more expensive than if you had to go to another brand, and it's still aspirational. So I think we have to keep in mind, yes, there are lots of you know, definitions of luxury, but like Anita was asking the question, does price make it a luxury product? I mean, if I'm selling something for 20 lakhs, does it essentially become a luxury product? No, it may not, because it may just be the value of diamonds and gold, and it doesn't have anything special about it.
Thank you.
Just, Anita, just one point.
Yes.
It reminds me of a very, very nice product that was created by Bulgari. तो मैं जरा हिंदी में भी बोलूँगा थोड़ा कि 1990s में जब भी बुल्गारी ने घड़ी शुरू की थी, तभी उन्होंने सब बुटीक में उनकी जो घड़ी आप सर्विस के लिए देते थे, आपकी घड़ी बुल्गारी की, along with that, वो जब भी आपने आपकी ओरिजिनल घड़ी उनको दी सर्विस करने या रिपेयर करने के लिए, तभी बुल्गारी आपको एक प्लास्टिक वॉच देते थे, उनकी सर्विस वॉच कहते थे ये. It was an automatic watch with a plastic case and a leather strap. It used to be called Bulgari's service watch. Taki, whenever you gave your original watch for repair or service, they would give you this watch, so you always had a Bulgari on your hand. Wo ghadi was not a very expensive watch. And people were asking Bulgari that ye ghadi mujhe bahut pasand hai, mujhe kharidni hai. But they were not allowed to sell that watch because it was only a temporary service watch. The consumers liked it so much that after that, every time they opened a new boutique, that watch was called the city watch. So every time they opened a new boutique, that service watch had the name of the city where it was opening, and they made a limited edition of it. And in those days, it was being sold, that limited edition was sold for some $500 or $600, but it was one of the most sought after watches, and was really not one of the most expensive watches. So to answer your question, sometimes that personal aspiration which a customer has for the brand, and not only for the brand, but what he thinks is aspirational for him, becomes more important than the price.
So thank you. मैं भी थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलना पसंद करूंगी अभी. सबने एक बात तो कंफर्म की कि प्राइस सिर्फ महंगा होना is not a qualifying factor for you to believe that your product is luxury. Matlab, it is a sum total of many aspects: design, quality, culture, trust, relationship, karigari, पैकेजिंग. आपको किस हिसाब से आफ्टर सेल सर्विस तक का ध्यान जो ब्रांड रखती है, इट इज अ सम टोटल ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दिस व्हिच गिव्स द टोटल एक्सपीरियंस. मतलब आपका पूरा तजुर्बा जो आपको वो ब्रांड से मिलता है, which will result into building a relationship with the customer, and the trust is probably making what it is to qualify into luxury. मेरे यहाँ से कुछ भी अगर फैक्टर छूटा है तो कोई भी मुझे हेल्प करेगा यहाँ से पैनलिस्ट में सम टोटल करने के लिए कि ऑडियंस को समझे कि सिर्फ प्राइस नहीं है, उसके अंदर कारीगरी, आर्ट, सम टोटल ऑफ द एंटायर एक्सपीरियंस. आप सब एग्री करते हैं उससे, और कुछ कोई ऐड करना चाहेगा?
नहीं, हम एग्री करते हैं. We just agree to the fact because it's a good summary.
So going to the next question कि in today's time Indian jewelry, हमारे कारीगर जो दिन रात मेहनत करते हैं और जो हमने डिस्कशन किया है, कुछ ब्रांड्स ऑलरेडी पोजीशन कर रही हैं इंडिया में लग्जरी एंड फाइन ज्वेलरी ब्रांड. रोज हैपेंस टू बी वन ऑफ इट, फारा हैपेंस टू बी अनदर, क्वीनी हैपेंस टू बी अनदर. How do you guys compete with what factors in the global market with brands like Cartier or Harry Winston or Piaget? अगर आपको इनसे कंपटीशन करनी होगी और कंधा से कंधा मिला के इनके साथ चलना होगा इंटरनेशनली, तो आप कैसे compete करेंगे? आप क्या ध्यान में रखेंगे? Can you elaborate on that?
Do you
okay, who I mean, I feel that, okay, who's speaking? Should I go ahead?
Queenie, go ahead. And Farah,
go ahead.
you, then I'll speak first. No problem.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that you have to maintain a high level of excellence, and you have to keep driving new concepts of innovation. Like, for example, जैसे Queenie Fine Jewels abroad, I do a lot of business abroad. How do I compete with people like Van Cleef and Chopard and, Boucheron? It's the consistency, it's the quality, it's the new designs, it's being visible and completely transparent. Your hallmarking, your certification, then again your story behind the brand. People are looking for that abroad. They are looking for that. And it's basically it's to be seen in relevant places, like whether it's the Cannes Film Festival, whether it's the Monaco Yacht Show, whether it's and doing an exhibition during the Chelsea flower show in London. And so it's it's about being completely like an established brand, and yet having, we don't have those high level of millions of dollars that we spend in marketing. So it's instead we spend that in enhancing our quality and our craftsmanship, our handmade jewelry. And so that is and of course at the same time being totally transparent, that what you are giving to them as quality. And I think that is what basically they look for, and each time is driving yourself towards innovation and quality.
Sorry, to add, Queenie ने जो कहा, okay, मैं भी कोशिश करती हूँ हिंदी में बोलने के लिए, मगर I'm not very good, but I will try. To add to जो Queenie ने जो कहा था, मैं और थोड़ा डिटेल में बताना चाहती हूँ कि जो अगर आप compete करना चाहते हैं इंटरनेशनल ज्वेलरी डिजाइनर ब्रांड्स के साथ, पहले तो बहुत जरूरी चीज है कि आपको एक डिजाइन सिग्नेचर स्टोरी होनी चाहिए. आपकी जो ज्वेलरी है हैज टू लुक लाइक आपकी एक सिग्नेचर है. जैसे कि अगर आप लिखते हैं हाथ से, आपकी हैंडराइटिंग होती है, आपकी ज्वेलरी की डिजाइन, जब कस्टमर्स आपकी ज्वेलरी को देखें तो उनको लगे कि ये आपकी ब्रांड की ज्वेलरी है, ये किसी और की नहीं है। क्योंकि हमारे जो हिंदुस्तानी ज्वेलर्स हैं क्या करते हैं कि अलग अलग किस्म की ज्वेलरी को लेकर बाहर गांव जाते हैं, और जहाँ वो ज्वेलरी ट्रेड शोज होते हैं वो सब अपने दुकान खोलते हैं वहाँ। you're not there to open a दुकान there, you're there to sell your brand। तो जब आप ब्रांड बेचना चाहते हो तो आपको एक स्टोरी लाइन होनी चाहिए, आपकी कहानी होनी चाहिए। एक और चीज आपको याद रखनी चाहिए कि जो इंटरनेशनल कस्टमर है वो इंडिया से बहुत एनामर्ड है, वो इंडिया की जो ज्वेलरी और हेरिटेज और कल्चर है वो बहुत उसमें बहुत इंटरेस्ट लेता है। तो उसके लिए आपको फोकस करनी चाहिए आपके इंडियन क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप और हेरिटेज, और उनकी एक कहानी बतानी चाहिए। जैसे कि अगर मैं ब्रांड्स के बारे में बात करूं, जो इंडियन इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड्स है, अम्रपाली है, जेम पैलेस है, वीरेन भगत, सूत्रा ज्वेल्स, बीना गोयंकर, हनुत सिंह, नेहा दानी, ये कई ज्वेलर्स है, ज्वेलरी ब्रांड्स है जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केटिंग में बहुत सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं। और वो सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने एक यूनिक एक्सपीरियंस बनाया है अपने कस्टमर्स के लिए, एक इंडिया स्टोरी को लेकर। मगर ये सब कहते भी मैं एक और चीज बताना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आपको सीखना है तो आपको हमारे जो देश के टॉप कुट्योर और फैशन डिजाइनर सब्यसाची है उनकी तरफ देखना चाहिए, क्योंकि उनकी कोई ज्वेलरी बैकग्राउंड नहीं थी, मगर उन्होंने क्या किया, ही सक्सीडेड इन टेलिंग अ स्टोरी बेटर देन एनी अदर फैमिली ज्वेलर। समझ में आया? तो उन्होंने जो कहानी बताई अपने कस्टमर्स को, दे फेल इन लव विद द एक्सपीरियंस, और वो कहानी जो बोल रहे थे। तो अगर आप उनको देखकर आप सीख सकते हैं कि कैसे एक फैशन डिजाइनर, एक ज्वेलरी डिजाइनर बनकर एक ज्वेलरी प्रोडक्ट्स जो शायद आप लोगों के पास भी है, क्योंकि वो ज्वेलरी जो सब्यसाची करते हैं इज वेरी इंडियन इन डिजाइन, बट द स्टोरी ही टेल्स इज वेरी इंटरनेशनल। So I would say learn from people, even if they're your competitors, because in this line, only if you learn, you will go ahead. That's all I can say.
Well, that is what. Thank you so much, Farah. Yes,
Manish,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Manishi, Yash Bhaiya, you want to speak first? Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I have.
Go ahead. We will come to Yash. Don't worry.
Okay, तो पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो आप ब्रांड्स बताए, Cartier, Bulgari, Van Cleef, ये सब अपने, for me is like my parents when I joined the jewelry industry. माँ बाप अपने टीचर से अपन सब सीखते हैं। तो to be very honest, when I came in this industry and I saw what they were doing, because honestly ये सब brands इंडिया के महाराजाओं को लग्जरी बेचते थे। तो उनके पास जो एक्सपीरियंस, जो नॉलेज, जो प्रोडक्ट, जो हर चीज है, उनसे बहुत सीखना था। तो मैंने जब ये जिंदगी चालू की ज्वेलरी लाइन में, तो मैंने पहले चीज ये नक्की किया कि मैं स्पंज बनूंगा। मैं स्पंज के जैसे सब नॉलेज पहले उनसे ले लूंगा, और जैसे अपन अपने बुजुर्ग के पास से सीखते हैं, और उनकी कहावत यह है कि उनके पास से सीखे तो शेर का सवा शेर बन सकते हो। तो ये हिसाब से I first spent my first 2 decades just learning and gaining knowledge from everybody else, and especially from the world where luxury was a way of life, and here we had to actually experience it. और सपना देखने का बहुत important है, because for me it was always a dream to create a luxury brand of Indian origin that would have some international standing. But ये सब करके, as you all mentioned, also Farah mentioned it, is to create your own DNA. आप सबके लिए सब कुछ नहीं बन सकते हो। तो कंज्यूमर जो है लग्जरी का, वो उसका लॉयल्टी एक ही तरफ है, अपनी तरफ। तो अगर उसके पास एक फरारी है तो उसको लैम्बोर्गिनी चाहिए, लैम्बोर्गिनी है तो उसको बेंटली चाहिए, मगर हर ब्रांड का खुद डीएनए होता है। तो इन द लग्जरी स्पेस, rather than being jack of all, you have to create your own DNA and position it in some way where you can create aspiration for that particular customer who will start buying or loving to possess your brand.
And can I just add one more thing here, please, Anita? मुझे एक और चीज कहनी है, क्योंकि आपके जो चैट्स जो आप लिख रहे हैं, क्वेश्चंस जो पूछ रहे हैं, पहली बात तो आपसे एक सवाल पूछनी चाहिए कि आप लग्जरी बेचना चाहते हो, मगर क्या आप लग्जरी ब्रांड हो? आपकी विजन क्या है, आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या है, आपकी आपकी कस्टमर कौन है, उनके लाइक्स क्या है, वो अपने ज्वेलरी पे कितना खर्च करना चाहते हैं, क्या आपके ब्रांड वो कहानी बताती है जो आपकी कस्टमर सुनना चाहती है, क्या आप अपने कस्टमर को अपनी ब्रांड स्टोरी अच्छी तरह से बता सकते हैं। ये सब सवाल बहुत जरूरी है पूछने के लिए अपने आप को बिफोर यू से कि मैं लग्जरी बेच रहा हूँ या मैं लग्जरी बेचना चाहता हूँ। क्योंकि जैसे कि जब आपके पास एक बच्चा होता है, आप बच्चे को नाम देते हैं और वो देन आप उनकी परवरिश करते हैं। तो ये ब्रांड भी जैसे इन्होंने कहा भी, ब्रांड भी हमारी डीएनए है। आप उनको एक बच्चे की तरह नर्चर करनी चाहिए और आपको उनकी कहानी बतानी चाहिए। शायद आप जूलर्स हैं 100 साल से और आपकी कहानी एक कारखाने में शुरू हुई जहां आपके आपके जो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स थे।
मैं माफी चाहूंगी, दिल मांगे मोर, वी वांट टू हियर फरा अ लॉट मोर, बट मुझे ना एक बहुत बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट एंगल जिसमें आपकी बहुत जरूरत होगी, मार्केटिंग एक्सपेक्ट, पर उसके पहले 10 मिनट का या 15 मिनट का ही समय है, तो मैं आप पहले यश से कुछ पूछूंगी। जो यश चाहेंगे वो 2 मिनट बोलेंगे, फिर मार्केटिंग के ऊपर हम आपका सुनना चाहेंगे। फरा, सॉरी फरा,
प्लीज गो अहेड, सॉरी
फरा, सॉरी यश जी, आप बोलना चाहते थे, बताइए।
नहीं, मैंने वीरेंद्र भाई ने और फरा ने एक्चुअली इसमें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंटली बहुत अच्छी तरह से एड्रेस किया है that the DNA of our pieces or our philosophy is very important. Where do we see our brand? हम उसको ले जाना कहाँ चाहते हैं, उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा। एंड जिन ब्रांड्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं, हैरी विंस्टन, कार्टियर, वैन क्लीफ, there's one thing which is very important attached to them is the legacy. So they were born into a country which has seen the development, growth and money and power. We are the country which is developing. We are the emerging market.
Correct.
Please give us some time. I was just seeing the India market share in the world is for around $1,500 million for the luxury goods, which in US is $3,500 million. So which I don't think so is very less. Given a provided time and dedication towards it, and the way the luxury is increasing into our country, one day we will be able to achieve and become Van Cleef and Cartiers also.
Yeah,
sure.
I like to add another. इसमें एक कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी सिचुएशन होती है कि एक तरफ से हम ये एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि लग्जरी डेमोक्रेटिक नहीं है और हमको एक कोड डेवलप करना है या ब्रांड की लैंग्वेज डेवलप करनी है। दूसरे हाथ में प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि आप अपनी तरफ से अपनी सोच के हिसाब से आगे बढ़ते हो। यू हैव टू एंश्योर कि आप ऐसी जगह ना पहुंच जाओ जिसका मार्केट इतना छोटा हो कि आप कुछ कर ही नहीं पाओ। सो आपको एक साइड से जो एड्रेसेबल मार्केट है, जो बड़ी जिस वैल्यू में सेल हो रही है या जिस तरह के डिजाइन लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं या जिस तरह के मटेरियल्स लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं, एक आपको उस पर नजर रखनी है और साइमल्टेनियसली आपको अपनी कैपेबिलिटी पे नजर रखनी है कि मैं क्या काम अच्छा कर सकता हूँ। इन दोनों को मिलाते हुए आपको एक ब्रांड का लैंग्वेज डेवलप करना पड़ेगा या कोड डेवलप करना पड़ेगा या एक इमेज डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी जो कि आप अच्छी तरह से कर पाओ और जिसका मार्केट भी हो, ताकि आज नहीं तो 5 साल बाद यू वुड हैव समथिंग बिगर टू फील प्राउड ऑफ।
Well, इसके अंदर मैं भी एक और चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा। वो इतना सा है कि इंडियन डोमेस्टिक मार्केट itself is a very big market and is a very different design language market. World very limited markets addressed to the Indian design market as of right now. Though we can see the NRIs and other expat Indian pocket size is increasing, and that's why the luxury Indian goods are taking much higher place into the international market also.
So, our next question, which is very important, but before I go to that question, मैं खाली एक शेयर करना चाहूँगी कि वेल्थ रिपोर्ट 2020 ये बताती है कि अल्ट्रा HNIs इंडिया में 73% ग्रो करेंगे नेक्स्ट 5 years में। जो आज के तारीख में 5,986 हैं, वो 2024 तक 10,350 तो हो जाएंगे। और मैं ये अल्ट्रा HNI मतलब उनका नेटवर्थ जो है इंक्लूडिंग देयर प्राइमरी हाउस इज $30 million, which is approximately 230 crores. ओके, तो इस तरह से जो हमारा पोटेंशियल है इंडिया के अंदर, मैं HNI तो गई नहीं हूँ, सिर्फ अल्ट्रा HNI बात कर रही हूँ। ये ग्रोथ हम ज्वेलरी ब्रांड जो फाइन ज्वेलरी ब्रांड है या लग्जरी ब्रांड है, वो किस हिसाब से मार्केटिंग की जाए, सोशल मीडिया, इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग, या जैसे फराह और क्वीनी ने भी बताया किसकी एग्जीबिशन में पार्ट लेना, कौन सा सही मार्ग आपको लगता है कि हम मार्केटिंग किस तरह से करें कि हम अपने ऑडियंस तक पहुंच पाएं?
I will, sorry, Virinda, you
Go
say.
ahead. Yes, may I start? No problem.
So I would like to say that there cannot be only one marketing tool which is going to take place. So you have to divide your product and then the marketing tools. आपको different करना पड़ेगा. आपको print media में भी जाना पड़ेगा. आपको digital media का भी use करना पड़ेगा. Influencers, celebrities, and exhibitions, personal trade show, personal shows. You will have to use all the marketing tools to increase the awareness and exposure of your brand to that particular client base.
I feel that, sorry, Viren, go ahead.
No, please go ahead, Queenie. No problem.
I think that marketing through the ways that jewelry can do it is very different from other products, because jewelry, there's a lot of look and feel of the product. But I feel that visibility is critical. So whether it be, digital marketing, which has now become imperative, again, how you present your website, because it has to be associated, or your mindset has to be that of luxury. Then your, the kind of exhibitions you take part in, because again, visibility again is critical. They have far-reaching people and the kind of people that you want to visit you. And then, of course, your private exhibitions where you have time to meet the consumer one-on-one, share your story, and develop a trust with the consumer. And then word of mouth. Word of mouth is very important in the luxury brand, of course. And basically, it's and fashion shows. Like I make sure that for me personally, that we take part in a fashion show of, reputed fashion like a fashion platform, where jewelry is spelling luxury as well as fashionable, and has a glamour quotient to it, because these are all things that make the luxury aspirational, your product aspirational. So even your fashion shows have a far-reaching audience, and they connect very quickly. And then, of course, the bloggers and the the influencers, where and testimonies, that's again very far-reaching. So this is very imperative in jewelry. And then eventually you have to be able to feel it and see it, because that is what jewelry is, the feel of it, the touch and feel of it.
So,
please go ahead, Viren.
Viren,
Okay.
I'll go after you. Sorry.
No, please, Farah.
No, you go first.
Farah, start. No problem, Farah.
No, I want Viren to first start. I admire your work. I love what you do. I love what you say.
But ma'am, you have the privilege of being a lady. So I come from a school where that privilege is there. But please go ahead, and then you can talk after me also. Not a problem.
Okay. So, adding to जो क्वीनी ने कहा था, एक तो था taking part in shows and all. मगर मैं समझती हूँ कि alliances जरूर करनी चाहिए influencers से, bloggers से और designers से भी, क्योंकि याद रखिए एक designer का role क्या होता है product, in a luxury brand. एक है तो creation of a product development और communication, क्योंकि बहुत आसान होता है कि when you create a myth of a person, जब आप एक कहानी बताते एक इंसान के बारे में, बहुत आसान होता है वो कहानी बताने के लिए, but you can't say a story about a brand if you're trying to give it a little romance and creating a myth basically. तो क्या होता है कि designers become the lead actors in a brand's design story, जैसे कि क्योंकि वो कहानी बनाते हैं, तो it's important to tie up with them, because they can actually share the dream of the brand. Now, I'll come to one thing, like you have a designer. If I say Tom Ford, आप सबको मालूम है कि Tom Ford कौन है, क्योंकि वो एक designer है, fashion brand, catwalks पे. मगर अगर मैं आपसे कहूँ कि Jonathan Ive, क्या आप जानते हैं Jonathan Ive कौन है? Jonathan Ive was the senior vice president of Apple's industrial design. He is like a guru in his sector, but nobody knows him as a designer, because designers themselves are a powerful communication tool. So it's very important to use designers in your your brand, the way you want to showcase your brand. Also, luxury brand should also tie up with designers. They don't have to be jewelry designers, they can also be non-jewelry designers. Like I'll give you my own example. When I did a tie-up, I did a tie-up with Tanishq and Caroline on a jewelry basis. But I've done non-jewelry tie-ups with Magnum, for Magnum ice creams, जहाँ मैंने पूरा एक collection किया था, jewelry का collection किया था, which helped market Magnum ice cream. Then right now I'm doing another collection with a company from Germany that is making sinks and toilet accessories. So मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि branding is important if you tie up with bloggers, with designers, with influencers, क्योंकि वो आपकी कहानी बेहतर बता सकते हैं. और it will not come across जैसे कि advertising में लगता है कि हमने पैसे दिए हैं और हम ये कह रहे हैं अपने आप के बारे में, हम अपने आप के बारे में बड़प्पन कर रहे हैं, बड़ाई कर रहे हैं. But this is subtle branding that comes in through the designer's story and the designer's expression. So it's very important to communicate with a designer, with a blogger, with an influencer, and of course be seen at various shows. That's how a dream is made and shared.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can I now?
Yes.
Okay. So ये जो issues है कि marketing क्या करना चाहिए, तो one of the most important things that we have to realize now, और ये बहुत ही important है आज के time में, कि during this lockdown period और during this COVID times, एक चीज समझना जरूरी है कि ये जो COVID का जो lockdown है और जो world pandemic है, वो easily जाने वाला नहीं है. And luxury is one space that is definitely going to get affected in every way. Because there are a couple of things. And in luxury also, jewelry more importantly will get affected because there are a couple of things. One is we are not a priority or an essential product. Number two is हमारे जो product में है metal use करते हैं. And as they keep saying that COVID viruses stick more to metal than anything else. Thirdly, social distancing की बात चल रही है, तो exhibitions, store visits, fashion shows, public gatherings तो होने वाले तो नहीं है काफी time के लिए. So how are we going to market ourselves during these times? So I have been sitting with myself and my team and coming up with very, very disruptive ideas. और ये जो ideas है, I want to share with everyone in the trade because I believe that it's important for the trade and not just my brand, that we all put together and put our resources in trying to make sure that people in our industry survive, the workers, the accountants, the design team, etc. Everyone survives. We have to put our efforts together. And so I'm going to share some of the ideas that we are planning ourselves. So I know my team will be a little upset that I'll be sharing, but I think it's fine. But
sharing is caring. I always believe that.
Yes, absolutely. So
thank you.
That's why I call myself, in a way, I tell my team I'm the Google. I'll share with anybody anything. But I want to say is that some of the things that we have to look at is whether you're a jeweler in Tripura or whether you're a jeweler in Nagaland or whether you're a jeweler in Mumbai or in Kanyakumari. Today, the opportunity for you is fabulous because now you are on the same platform as the designer or jeweler in a big city like Mumbai or whether you're in a very, very small town in any part of the country. The platform is digital. And if you are making great designs, great product, you can communicate to all your customers across not only India, but across the globe by just this digital medium. Over the last 2 years, though we have seen a very good growth even in the luxury business for us digitally, it's yet not in double digit, but I have seen that the interaction of customers on this medium is going to work. So there are so many things that you can do, not only building a good website, but creating a good content in social media for your brand to be able to show your design strength, show your product strength, show your gem strength. Everything is available on the net. And for you to be able to put this more important than just a website is how you portray yourself in social media. Of course, interactions, influencers, all that count, but eventually it's extremely important as to what and how you do it on social media, because the younger generation or the current generation that is going to buy jewelry is practically living surgically attached to their telephone and to social media. तो आज की तारीख में जो आपको करना चाहिए post lockdown, whether COVID is there or not, the way to go forward will be to go digitally and create yourself a platform on this digital space, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, social media, LinkedIn, whether it's your own personal website. It's extremely important. I'll give you one last example. Is my eldest son has taken our family legacy, which is Ayurvedic medicine, where my 4 generations above me were just Ayurvedic physicians, and they had a very large practice. He was in private equity with L Capital, and then he decided one day to give it up and follow the family legacy. In 3 years, he has built a digital Ayurvedic platform, one of the largest in the country, and it's probably having equal or more value than what we have at Rose in terms of monetary valuation. So what I'm trying to say is the world forward with COVID, you will have to make sure that even your store has to be in virtual reality. It's not only about your product, क्योंकि आपकी दुकान पे आएंगे नहीं अभी लोग, मगर if you have your store on the digital space, that's where you're going to be interacting with your consumer. So all these things keep in mind, look, and if you want to be able to not only survive and bounce back very fast, virtual reality, augmented reality, social media, everything that is digital is the way to go. So think work from home is going to be the way you'll have to go forward.
I want to add a little bit to Viren Bhai. I totally agree with Viren Bhai. What he's saying is absolutely the way forward for the coming times. But there is one slight thing into it. Like when we talk about Instagram means instant. Like it's an Insta thing. So it just comes and it goes. So we need a lot of content to create for people to have a recall and a remembrance over it. Any digital, any social media, we need to have a lot of content to be kept on putting on it. So now what is happening, because of creating of excess content, we are losing the quality of content, which is very important when we talk of luxury, to maintain that quality of content. And that's one of the most important aspect we are going to, we should play once this scenario is to how to filter the quality and how to filter the advertisement content over the social media.
मैं सिर्फ एक चीज कहना चाहती हूँ, just one more thing that came to me. You know, अगर हमारे जो जूलर्स है जो ये सुन रहे हैं हमें, अगर आप अपने ब्रांड को वो ध्यान दे, जैसे कि आप एक अपने फैमिली में जब आप प्लान करते हैं आपके फैमिली की शादी आना, जहां आप प्लानिंग करते हैं ऊपर से नीचे तक के क्या कपड़े पहनेंगे, क्या ज्वेलरी होगा, कहाँ होगा, ये वगैरह वगैरह, अगर आप अपने ब्रांड को भी वैसे प्लानिंग करें ना, तो आप कुछ भी बेच सकते हैं. आप वो आपकी जो ज्वेलरी है ना, आप बहुत सही तरीके से बेच पाओगे अपने कस्टमर्स को. तो गिव इट दैट मच वैल्यू. और जो आप जानते थे पहली जो पोस्ट प्री कोविड, जैसे कि हेमंत भाई कहते हैं, देयर इज आफ्टर कोविड एंड बिफोर कोविड. सो बिफोर कोरोना एंड आफ्टर कोरोना. बिफोर कोरोना की जो है वो सब भूल जाइए. दिस इज द टाइम ऑफ डिस्ट्रप्शन, जैसे कि बीरेन ने कहा था. नए आइडियाज, नए थॉट्स, जो भी आप कोशिश करना चाहते हैं, जो भी आप करना चाहते हो, वो अभी करना चाहिए. Thank you.
Thanks.
So I'll add a bit.
Manishi, yes. Coming to you.
No. So two things. Number one, that generally they say in luxury, you should communicate to those who are not your customers. इसलिए ताकि लोगों को पता चले कि आपका ब्रांड काय को स्टैंड करता है, क्या उसके वैल्यूज हैं. In that context, digital becomes very important because there is a host of the world which lives purely on digital. My 10-year-old son possibly doesn't know how to shop in a store, but he knows how to shop in a web shop. मगर इसमें जो बहुत लोग इसको डिजिटल बिजनेस का मतलब, ई कॉमर्स का मतलब एक वेबसाइट खोल लेना ही नहीं होता है. हम लोगों को लगता है कि अमेजोन ने एक वेबसाइट खोल ली और इतना बड़ा बिजनेस खड़ा कर दिया. दे स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम एंड एफर्ट इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट इज हैपनिंग ऑन देयर वेब शॉप. और ज्यादातर लोग जो जो दूसरा प्रॉब्लम देखने में आता है कि आप अपना ऑफलाइन बिजनेस ऑफलाइन करते हो, जो स्टोर करते हो, ट्रीट करते हो. ये बहुत जरूरी है कि ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पूल करी जाए. आप कल एक एग्जीबिशन में पार्ट ले रहे हो, आपके ई वेब शॉप में लोग आ रहे हैं, आपके फिजिकल स्टोर में लोग आ रहे हैं, और आपके लेट्स से 4 स्टोर हैं 4 सिटीज में, उसमें लोग आ रहे हैं. ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत जरूरी है कि सारी एक साथ स्टडी करी जाए, ताकि आपको वो ट्रेंड्स और पैटर्न्स वगैरह दिखाई दें जिनकी वजह से आप बिजनेस ग्रो कर सकें. मगर फ्रॉम एंड द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम इज दैट कि आप नहीं करोगे. का प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर आप लेट्स से बॉम्बे में हो और आपको लगता है मेरा कस्टमर मेरे पास आता है, cancel in Bombay and will start selling. So the level of competition will multiply because a digital will give access to almost everyone across the country, and he will be able to sell to your customer. So the earlier we go down that path, the better it is, because that is going to be what the word would be very soon.
In fact, you can save money with digital. Sorry to interrupt, but in fact, you can save money with digital अगर आप digital rendering करें, क्योंकि आपको अपनी फिर आप सिर्फ CAD में और invest कर सकते हैं, और digital rendering में you don't have to invest in gold and diamonds, so it becomes easier for you to have inventory-less shopping.
No, so from a marketing perspective, what I'd like to say is that the way the world is changing is what Manishi was saying. And I want to elaborate a little bit on that, because that's something we've been doing and analyzing for the last 2 years also. What he's talking about is analytics, to see who is your customer, where is he, what is his behavioral pattern, how can you get him to come and buy your product, or what is his lifestyle, and where would he be, and where would you market him, because that's where he's going to be next, or where can you get his eyeball the next time. So these very, very critical and important things are necessary in the luxury space, because let's say for the example of what Burberry did, Burberry just didn't change the brand by just going in the digital space. It spent a tremendous amount just like in digital analytics. So analytics is of course going to be a way of life to be able to understand the trend of the customer. Analytics is across all spaces, not just in luxury. In fact, we are the last entrants. If you see behavioral patterns in mass retail, they decide where to put the product on the counter in a supermarket, depending on the analytics. So yeah, analytics of who your customer is, your older customer and your newer customer, or who would be your future customer, you can derive purely from analytics. And there is और एक question मुझे पूछा गया था, which I saw in the chat, was प्रोडक्ट का प्राइस क्या $10,000 के ऊपर बिक सकता है डिजिटली? इसका आंसर यस है. इंडिया में मे बी इट विल टेक सम टाइम, बट ओवरसीज तो डेफिनेटली ये हो रहा है. हमें भी काफी इंक्वायरीज और सेल हुए हैं ओवरसीज में $10,000 के ऊपर. इंडिया में थोड़े कम है, but they will also be getting in that direction.
Just to inform everybody now that we will have 15 minutes for the audience questions. So the questions will be addressed, just to share and assure you all that we are coming back. Before we move to the last question, before we wind up, just you want to add something on the marketing bit, because
no, I wanted to just say that, about this whole approach about digital marketing. I mean, the millennials have been doing that for a while now. That, Tiara, my daughter, launched a brand which was, targeted at the younger people and men's jewelry. Now, men don't wear that much jewelry in general, but she made like trendy sort of out of the box things. And we put them all on Instagram. And all of her items, I would say 80 to 90% of her items sold on Instagram. So, of course, the whole millennial approach has been we're looking at rather going there and buying, we'd rather just go and see what's online and pick it up, like that. So it's, I have that sitting at home, with my daughter who's millennials. Can you hear me? I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
I agree with you, Queenie, because I also sell jewelry online, and I have sold things which are ranging from 5 lakhs to 20 to 30 lakhs also very easily on Instagram. So it's about, but again, why will customers go to your Instagram account and see and buy from you? Your Instagram account has to be engaging, interesting. If I'm only going to go put pictures of myself 24/7 and only be narcissistic, nobody's really going to be wanting to see my Instagram. I am talking about my life, my lifestyle on my Instagram. I'm talking about what I'm attracted to, what I'm what is my interest. I share books I read, I share music I do, I share places I visit. So the customer is coming to the Instagram account because the customer is attracted because you're telling a nice story. So you have to make sure that your Instagram account doesn't become robotic, okay, only pictures of jewelry or pictures of yourself and selling the product, because then nobody will come and buy.
Yeah, sure. Content is the king for sure. Ashok, do we have time for one more question? Can I?
Yeah, yeah. Please carry on.
There's one question which I'm just putting. It is in continuation of what digital marketing we're talking about. Now we are reaching to the consumers, which is millennial. Millennials are very much environmental conscious. They want products which are sustainable. How do we reach out to this when it comes to jewelry industry to communicate the sustainability factor? That's my first question. Next question, which you can combine if you want, with post-COVID, we did say COVID-19 has made us realize that this is a digital era. So we cannot possibly think of any other marketing tool other than digital. But in COVID-19, do you feel that the consumers are going to buy luxury products? Will they buy high ticket items, high priced items?
Yes, revenge buying. No, but
well, I will like to address that. It will depend on how fast we come out of the situation.
Okay.
So the longer we stay, the time period which is it's going to take to recover is going to be longer. Now, the most important thing is, it's not the first time. The world has seen the World War I, World War II. They have seen the depressions. They have seen n number of things happening, and yet the luxury sector has always recovered back and stronger.
So I want to say that my friend Pyali is married to Patrick, who used to work for Cartier for about 26-30 years. And वो मुझे कह रही थी कि ताइवान के earthquake के बाद जहाँ बहुत से लोग मरे थे, Cartier recorded record sales in buying after that, because people were just happy to be alive. Okay. मुझे लगता है कि ये जो COVID जो है, it's going to be similar, because even in after the depression of 2009, it took 1 year, but post 1 year, the world just bounced back. So after COVID also, people are going to get into a revenge buying, because the humans सपने देखते हैं, हम इंसान सपने देखते हैं, and if we see dreams, we want to live. And so I think yes, consumers will probably buy less product, but will buy better product. They will be concerned about spending money, but will hold close to them brands that are creative and beautifully designs that are beautiful in product. They will also be drawn to brands that you are recycling or are helping the environment. They will wear minimal jewelry, maybe more volume jewelry, which has more which has more functionality and can be worn in many different ways. I think also post this, we're going to be selling jewelry as products of beauty, not as gold labor and carat weight, because if you don't give importance to your own product, nobody is going to give importance to your product. And I think that revenge buying will definitely happen, because just recently when China opened, Hermes mein jo buying ho gayi thi, something was, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, some
2.6 million in a day.
$6 million
in a day.
I will like to add something on that. So Hermes recorded a $2.6 million sale on the first day of its opening.
Right.
A lot of experts says that it was the recorded sale, which is 76 days lockdown China witnessed. It was the sale recorded in those days, which they converted and built on that very day of the opening.
No, just
Maybe,
one thing,
maybe
please,
that's
somebody,
No,
can
but
the
there is going to
administrator,
be.
can the
Everybody
administrator
will
unlock,
Let
can the administrator unlock Manishi, please? Can the administrator unlock Manishi?
unlock Manishi.
Unmute.
Avinash.
Manishi.
Yeah, Avinash, he's probably muted. Can you just
I can't see him only.
I can't see him.
Oh, then he needs to get back.
He is not there actually.
Yeah, so I think he's logged out. So there was some problem with his
No,
internet.
he's there. I'm unmuting him. Yeah, I've unmuted
Please
him.
unmute.
Thanks, Biren bhai.
You're welcome.
Okay, go on. Biren, you wanted to continue saying something, right?
Yeah, so one of the things that I personally feel is that more than any of the other depressions or recessions that we have had, this is very, very unique. And because we are at home, we don't really see what the impact is going to be. I have an experience to see a little bit of what is happening, because one of our companies, which is Ayurveda, is an essential product. And we are trying to see how my son is trying to get that factory running and been providing medicines. It's not easy. And where I see is that the way Yash said that the lockdown is going to have an impact for basically every industry to come back. It's going to be taking at least 3 to 6 months before they can get into a proper production cycle. So a lot of people's minds will be in that direction. And what I would request everybody in jewelry to understand, that also the fact with gold prices going up so high, the price of product will go up. So one needs to be like water, to keep a very, very open mind as to what we need to create in product, because there will be a very big change in product that we'll have to create in these times to be able to get any revenue. So to expect that the same product that we were selling pre-COVID is going to work 100% is something that we will have to rethink. Of course, sustainability, environment, all this will count, but also for a certain time frame, for at least a year or maybe 2 years, there will also be a price point that will matter in the luxury space.
True.
Of course,
Right.
the treasures and the one-of-a-kind pieces, you can't dilute them, but in the general scale, as even Farah had mentioned before, luxury is not going to have a different price point in this time to come forward. And from whatever experts that I know from various industries and various consultings, etc., discussions that I've been having, is what we were pre-COVID. It may take us actually 5 years as in the luxury space to be able to get back to those kind of numbers. So reality is, we have to be like Ganga Maya, a river flowing like water flowing. Wherever we find the opening, we rush through and move to create opportunity and business.
Binay, there are two schools of thoughts which are going on right now. The one is the one which you are saying, the other one is the Farah's one. Now, the important is why there are two schools is because people don't want to keep the hard cash, and neither they will like to reinvest into their own business. So we are expecting the gold to rise. So they will invest into the commodity which we are into. That is also one school of thought, which people are saying that the jewelry will bounce back.
Gold is going up. When gold is going up and you invest in gold, you're talking more about bullion.
No. As part of the jewelry. And a lot of people are coming up with the innovative idea. Yesterday, I attended a party of 1 lakh people in which a DJ was playing, and everybody was dressed up and dancing and was full of the people. People are coming up with the different innovative ideas to keep on selling our pieces of jewelry and luxury.
You were at a party with people dancing all together?
No, not all together. It was on the Zoom, so people were dressed up at their home and was there on the screens.
I wanted to go to the party, that's why I asked you.
Oh, well, I'll invite you tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I mean, I actually believe that, you know,
the voice is
but to happen.
Like,
and
network has an issue.
It's
Vinny, we can't hear you. There's something wrong with your
There's something wrong with the voice.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Yeah.
I said that I'm more optimistic because I believe that excesses won't happen. There won't be too many things sold off, you know, but there will be that buying that that one buying, quality will, like go over quantity, because there are always weddings in India, and in weddings people will. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. And in weddings, people do want jewelry in Indian weddings, at least, and abroad also the rich may not be as rich, but they not be buying extravagant, but they will buy, and I'm very optimistic about that. Of course, things will change, and of course, it'll take a time for us to get back to where we were. However, time it may take longer, like Biren Bhai said, but I feel I'm very optimistic about our country, and I'm very optimistic about jewelry, because jewelry is like it's a noble sort of purchase. So people associate that with a whole lot of things, like status and investment, and so I have.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Now we can't hear you.
Okay, so
That we have to do.
okay, so
Can I
just one part.
Sorry, Biren, can I just say one more thing? To all the jewelers who are very worried about your business, जो आप लोग घबरा के बैठे हैं कि क्या होने वाला है, मुझे सिर्फ आपको ये कहना है कि पूरी दुनिया कोमा में है। 3 महीने की कोमा में पूरी दुनिया है, तो ऐसे नहीं है कि हम ही एक कोमा में है और सब दुनिया चल रही है। तो आपको ये ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि हमारी जो बिजनेस है अभी थोड़ी पूरी सबके पास वही परेशानियां होगी जो हमारे पास है। तो to be worried in this system will not work. We have to be optimistic. There will be revenge buying. लोग जूलरी खरीदेंगे क्योंकि जूलरी के साथ मेमोरीज आते हैं। जैसे क्वीनी ने कहा, शादियां बंद तो नहीं हो जाएंगे, डिफर हो जाएंगे, मगर हमको सिर्फ ये जो हालात है, ये जो बिरेन भाई ने कहा था 6 महीने 8 महीने तो लगेंगे यहाँ से निकलने के लिए, मगर तब तक we have to be very optimistic, because I am telling you कि मुझे अब तक जूलरी ऑर्डर्स आ रहे हैं, मगर मैं डिलीवर नहीं कर सकती क्योंकि मेरी फैक्ट्रियां बंद है, मेरी दुकान बंद है, तो मैं कैसे डिलीवर करूं? तो अगर अब तक ऑर्डर्स आ रहे हैं, उसका मतलब है कि once we open there will be orders. Think positive, because it will only help you in life as far as your work, and that's what I want all of you to be. I think we should all prosper as an industry. We should all come together as one, and we should all unite and take this luxury business of jewelry, and we should make it a culture, because we employ so many craftsmen, so many people and we need to actually become the next Italy as far as design, and the next China as far as manufacturing. And this is the time to do it, because we are in a disrupted economy world over, where China and Italy are both suffering. So let's take over.
Okay, so just to add one part. Firstly, I was not being pessimistic. I was just being a little realistic about the fact that it will take some time over the industry coming out correct. But also please note that where I'm coming from is the world is going to change, because weddings like they used to be pre-COVID are not going to be the same because of social distancing. So will really be people having so many functions. Destinations are going to be out of the question now, because travel bans will be so hectic, or the security to travel is going to be tremendous. So these things eventually is also going to affect people's buying for occasions. That because bridal was a very, very important thing. Wedding is very important for industry. So what I was saying is that we will have to find a new kind of product. So we'll have to change our product mix. That's where I was coming from. That we were, most of our businesses, we had a very large amount of sale during weddings and bridals. That segment, we will have to change and find a new avenue, a new type of product, a new price point, a new occasion. These are the things that I was meaning by when I said that there is going to be a change post lockdown.
Sure.
And I'm sure that.
So I think I also.
Yes, Manishi. Go on, Manishi.
Yeah, I tend to agree that without being pessimistic or optimistic, I think the broad situation would be that things will change. So the customer will be a different customer. And today, if you have, if you look back with 2 years of information and then plan, you see what I did last October, then plan for this October, all those kind of things will have to change. So, you would have to be a very, very short-term view. So in a way, I, like Viren Bhai said, be a river kind of a thing. But you will have to be very, very agile, very reactive. आपको आज देख के डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा कि अगला एक महीने क्या बिजनेस होने वाला है, क्योंकि चीजें खुलती रहेंगी, बंद होती रहेंगी, कभी सिटीज खुलेंगे, कभी सिटीज बंद होंगे, कभी मोहल्ले खुलेंगे, मोहल्ले बंद होंगे. So the entire planning cycle and the way you look into your business will have to be much more short term. आप आज एक साल का बिजनेस प्लान बना के काम नहीं कर सकते, आपको नहीं मालूम अगले महीने क्या होने वाला है.
Yeah, so with this, I think we need to wind up, and there will be new normalcy. नए तरीके, नए तौर अपनाने पड़ेंगे हमें. और इसी से मैं फिर रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिफोर गोइंग, थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड सॉरी Farah, I didn't have any intentions. We wanted to hear you.
Silly, you were amazing. I want to say Yash was amazing, Viren was amazing, Manishi was amazing.
Fabulous.
I love you, and Ashok, I also love you too. And Anita, you were always amazing. I watch all your webinars and I love them. So keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Avinash ji, anybody, any questions? If you have, then I can do the honors.
Ashok bhai, there are 2-3 things which are there. A lot of things were there on the chat. Other than that, I got some questions on my WhatsApp, and I want to pose a question which I find is important and can be answered. How important is to be original to be called as luxury?
Very important.
Very.
Without being original, you cannot be luxury.
You can't be a luxury brand. If
Copies are never luxury.
So
Absolutely.
everybody is on the side
I think
of
that is the first fundamental of becoming a luxury.
correct.
So my take on this is that the originality is only with one person or entity in this whole universe. That is the Almighty.
Oh yes.
And we should be first hand from Him. So we should be inspired directly from Him.
Oh
So I call myself an aspiring impressionist from the Almighty, and that's what we all designers are. So we should be as close to His creations and to take ideas from His creations rather than anybody else's.
Or unless we want to become almighty.
So the originality is the key in being a luxury brand, because if you're not original in design, or you're not original in storytelling, if you're not original in your origin of who you are, where you come from, why would anyone want to come to you? If you're available easily, how does that make you luxury? Luxury is something that is not accessible easily in the design sense of it, so you need to be definitely very unique and definitely original. But saying that, Ashok, can I have this PowerPoint presentation that I made. Can I share it with people on email?
Please.
Because there are a lot of
Absolutely.
points that we couldn't discuss because of the
We'll put it across the board. We'll put it across all groups.
It just may help people.
We have a list of around 2,000-3,000 people. We'll put it on
If
every.
you can, because it'll probably help them.
We'll be thankful to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On this, when we talk about originality, sorry, don't take me wrong. Maybe that's the big difference when we call India, when we were discussing, like Anita posed a question, what's the difference between Van Cleef Arpels, Cartier, and the Indian designers or Indian brands? I think that makes a huge difference. Don't take me wrong on this. Anyways, I think Ashok bhai, already we are at 3:31. So over to you for the things.
Okay. The panel today, I think, has discussed a very unusual subject of luxury, which has so many meanings, so many attributes, and so many different challenges. I never realized, only after discussing. And how does one compete with the international top brands? I'm just talking of the points that were discussed. And we had wonderful answers that be present in the world-class events, go to the shows, have a signature design story. International customers are fascinated by the Indian history. And when you add an Indian story to your product lines, the customers fall in love when you are out in the international waters. Top designers have the skill to promote this. And this is something that you must carry. Every brand must know its DNA and must know how to build it and must know how to promote it. Each and every field of awareness every field of awareness is required to be created in the market, and we must have sufficient visibility, being in the right places, presence in the shows, and some of the most important aspects of marketing. We must have good testimonials, as far as that cross promotions are so important with different brands, with different product lines. Surviving in these times there is an opportunity now. Wherever you are, at the end of the day, there is only one platform, and that is digital. And now everyone can use this platform to show your strengths. So have your store in virtual reality, Biren Bhai said. Working from home digitally, you will again bounce back. Yes, said maintain your quality on the social media. Farah said you do whatever you want, but make sure your post-COVID scene will be what you will, it will depend on what you do today. One thing I can surely tell you guys have an amazing insight and knowledge of what you do, and you have an emotion, intelligence, and you have a very big heart. I must say one thing, that we all need to come back with new products, new product lines, new thought processes. And as Biren Bhai said, Ganga ke saath ke pani ke saath chalte chaliye. So let's remain positive. I would like to thank Queenie for her wonderful answers, Farah for all the great replies you gave us, Biren for all the great pieces of advice, Manishi for all the insight, and Yash for your absolute outwardness. Anita Khatri for a great moderation. Thank you very much, all of you, and look forward to seeing you guys
May
again.
I say something before
Please,
we end
please,
this?
please.
To all the jewelry people out there, if you have an original idea and there is some sort of like an original spark, you can build a whole luxury brand around it.
Oh
So
my God.
that is like huge. I mean, I'm coming from my own personal experience of creating something original and then building a whole luxury around it because it inspires you.
Yeah, you're giving me good ideas, I can tell you.
Thank you, Ashok Bhai. Thank you,
Thank
Avinash
you.
Bhai.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you. Thank you so
for
much.
sharing your insights. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thank you,
audience.
Avinash ji.
Really
Thank
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Pleasure,
Thank you.
everybody.